Hey Power Hoppers, this is Brian Knight again from Pragmatic Works. And this third video from our series, we're going to focus on many-to-many relationships and some of the options and pitfalls you're going to have around building an application using that in Dataverse. So stay tuned. So in Dataverse, we can model many-to-many relationships very easily. But there are a few options you have on it. So let's imagine, for example, let me go to my screen real quick. Let's imagine, for example, we have this list of capital expense projects that we've been working on over the past few videos. So I want to log what contractors are going to be part of this project. Well, one way, I can put a contractor ID on this project. Well, let's imagine though, instead of that, I need to allow multiple contractors on a given project. I also need to allow a certain contractor to be on multiple projects at the same time. That's where the crux of our many-to-many relationship is. So I have on the left side, I have my projects. On the right side, I have my project team. And I might have you on project A, and I might have Bob and Henry and Barb all on this team. And then project B, I might have Bob again on that team. So that relationship creates basically a many-to-many relationship where many projects, project A and B, so two of those in this case, can have many team members, Bob, Henry, and Barb. Now to do this, traditionally in SQL Server, we create a table between this, which would have the project ID and the team ID or team member ID, for each of those different people inside of this. So that's the example we're going to choose today. Now, there's a number of options you have. We can create that joiner table or that reference table in between. Power Apps in Dataverse can also do all that for us. The question that always comes up here, the important decision point, is do I want to store anything more about Bob being on project A other than the fact that he's on project A? If the answer is yes, I want to store Bob on project A, and what is his role on project A? If that's the case, you'll need to customize this table and create basically a one-to-many relationship between both of these. One-to-many here, one-to-many here, essentially. So one project team can have many members and so on and so on. If it's just the fact that he's on that team is enough, or the fact that a student is enrolled in a class is enough, in that instance, you can use the native Dataverse capabilities. We're going to focus today mostly on the native Dataverse capabilities. So to do this, I want to create a relationship, in my case, between a project and a contracting firm. I have n number of contracting firms that are putting that are going to be involved in project managing this project. It's a big campus build out, for example. Now that works great, but if you also want to log their role or their bid amount or what it's costing you or the number of hours approved or any of those types of things, then you need to customize the table and add your own table. That's what you're listening for on those kind of exam certification tests where they'll ask you how you model certain things. Okay, so in my case, though, we're going to use a native functionality, and it's going to turn on some really cool stuff in model-driven and in Canvas apps. So I'll show you how it works in both of the app styles now also. So this will be a little bit longer of a video because we are going to show both app styles. First step I want to do, let me go ahead and clone this tab here and go over to make.powerapps. And I want to go in and let me find my environment here. There we go. Solutions, and I'm going to go back to my solution. My first option I want to do is I want to go to my project table. Oh, not that one, excuse me. My mistake there. And it launched a new screen. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Let's go to our project table here. And I'm going to model the relationship first. The relationship between an account, a contracting firm, and the given piece. Now to do this, I'm not going to create a column. If I wanted to log extra metadata, then I would create a column called called account. I would have another table where I'd have a relationship into this table. That many-to-many table, that joiner table, I would have inside that project ID and then account ID, and then whatever extra metadata I want to do. But in my case, we're going to do this all natively by hitting a new relationship, a new many-to-many relationship up top here. We'll select that. It's then going to ask us, well, how do you want to relate to this table here? I want this to go to account table, so many projects can have many accounts, or in our case, contracting firms. I then give it some type of a name, so I'll just go ahead and call this like a contracting firm, and I'll go ahead and go xref so I know what it is, and I'll leave that one alone. You can also name it whatever you wish. It's okay. Whatever, this is just for you personally, but you're also going to see this in other places. So when I hit done, the relationship is now built. That's all there is to it. So it built this relationship you're seeing right here. It basically created a joiner table here. Let me zoom in closer so you can see it. It created that reference table right here. That inside that table has a project ID and the account ID. That's how it kind of does all that. It doesn't contain any extra metadata. That's where you have to customize it if you want. So let's leave that and let's go ahead and save. Okay, I'll save. And now we're going to use this. We'll start with we'll show you two different ways of using this. We're going to start with a model-driven app and how we can show this in a model-driven app. Then we're going to hop over to a Canvas app and show you how it looks in a Canvas app. Okay, so those are our how we can actually insert data in this hidden table here. One thing you'll notice is after I save this, that there's no really special columns. You had no idea it's here if it wasn't for the relationship tab. Additionally, in my solution, you're not going to see a whole lot there either. So look in the solution. There's no, you have a little bit of stuff here, but not, there's our many relationship right there. It's a Canvas app, but no special table. That table is not logged here. It's actually kind of a hidden table here. So it's a dependency for our moving, but we don't actually see it as a dependency. So let's go first into our model-driven app. I'm gonna go ahead and select this and hit the, actually I wanna go into the back in the capital projects table again. There we go. And I'm going to model our form to be able to add multiple people on this project. I'll do that in my forms. And this is the easy way of doing it. We'll show you the Canvas way, which is a little bit more difficult. All right, once I go to this main form, we're going to go ahead and add what's called a subgrid in this. And a subgrid is how we'll add multiple projects into this. So we would, of course, stylize this better, but this is for brevity's sake. I'm going to add a one-column section down here. Not one column tab, a one-column section. There we go. And inside that one column section, I'll add a subgrid. And this subgrid, it's being a little picky right now, isn't it? There we go. That's a quick view, never mind. Let me try one more time here. Add a subgrid. I'll only show related records. This was under the components tab, by the way, is where I'm getting this. And I only want to see related accounts. And I'll say, give me all the active accounts. So show me the related accounts to this project. Because there is a relationship now, that's how it's going to control this. And I personally don't like that little new SG. We can relabel that and call that something like new or contractors or contracting firms or something like that. Okay, something like that. Then we'll save and publish, and let's test drive this application and see how it looks. It's that simple on how to do it, though. Now that you've done that, though, let's go over to the other side and make this work. All right, so once it finishes publishing, we're going to see the application, and then we'll drive into the other side. All right, application's now done. Let me go over here. I'll do a hard refresh with the latest metadata out. Then I'm going to go into, how about this new floor right here? And we'll see our new contracting firms down here. I'll hit Add New Account. I'll use Microsoft, and I'll also use Pragmatic Works. And when I hit Add, we'll see both those accounts. Here we go. We also can add them as well. Both those accounts now, our many accounts, have this project. And to prove that, I can go over to another project and use Microsoft again on our flooring project, for example. I'll add the same guys. Microsoft, this time Pragmatic Works, and Riley Inc. are now added. So that's how you can model this from a many relationship side on a portal, on an application like this, a model-driven app using Dataverse. Now let's take a look at the Canvas app, which is a little bit more complex, but not terrible. Okay, So on my Canvas side, I built the simple app that you're seeing right here. Let me go ahead and refresh my data, refresh that. And on this one, what we're going to see is when I have not actually pointed to this yet to kind of see how it's going to look, but in a second here, we're going to get a full view of our data. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for this app, for this grid right here, I only want to see when you select new building B, I want to see all the ones that are related to that. So what I can do is I can say gallery, what do they call this? Gallery 1 on the left side. I should have picked a better name. Dot selected dot, and we can do is we can say I want to get the accounts. Look at that. It already comes up for me automatically. So show me all the accounts for building B. Research lab, new flooring, that's the one we just added a moment ago. And if I go in here, let's go ahead and just change this to this item dot account dot account, there we go, account name. Here we go. So now we can see Microsoft and Pragmatic Works. Under new flooring, we have Riley Inc. And this matches exactly what you saw in that previous screen. Microsoft, Pragmatic Works, and Riley Inc. There we go. It's a little different order, but it means the same stuff. So awesome. So we have our core now ready to go, but how do we add new records to that? So again, just to make sure I rehash this a little bit, it's whatever your record that you selected is, dot selected dot accounts, because I'm relating them. I want to get the show me all the records from this project to the accounts. So by doing that, it gives me all the accounts that relate to that. Our next piece is, how do I actually do that? Now down here, I started this work down here actually doing this. And these buttons do nothing at all. There's two functions you can use to basically relate this flooring project to Riley Inc., for example. The functions are relate and unrelate. Go figure, huh? Now we can combine this into one button, but for the time being, just to kind of keep it simple for us in this video, I'll put relate. And what record do we want to relate? I want to relate the gallery 1 dot selected. There we go. And I want to relate that to, how about the this item? There we go. Now, one piece I need to do, all right, dot accounts with this item. There we go. So I want to take the flooring here. Now, when I go in, I think this new flooring here, and if I add the Jacksonville Jaguars, hit that. There we go. It's relating, and there it goes. So with the relate function, it's going to add a record to that hidden table that you saw a moment ago. And again, that hidden table, Microsoft took care of the addition of that automatically for us. And it's now adding a record by relating those two entities for us. So the function, again, is the relate. You say, what selected record do you want to relate? So you have record 1, record 2. This item is referring to Riley Inc. And over here is, I want to take this record right here, take its and relate to the account side and kind of combine those two records together. The minute I did that, if I hop over here again to this entity here and I hit the refresh, we should see there's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So no matter what our application type is, it's going to work. The same thing, if I just take this right here, the same thing applies to unrelate. So if I go into my unrelate button right here, here we go. I'll go ahead and the on select of that, paste that code in, but let me go ahead and put the word unrelate. There we go. Same exact code, almost same exact code. Okay. This time we want to do almost the same thing. And let me get rid of my face here so we can see the full piece here. Almost the same thing, but this time we want to, let's see what the error is here first of all. Oh, I see the problem. Good Lord. All right, let's get rid of that. And that should, almost the same code, just with the unrelate. Let's go to remove the record from here. So when I go ahead and unrelate that Riley Inc., we should see it disappear right there. Pragmatic Works, and again, Microsoft as well. And likewise, okay, back over here again. We hit, back over here again. If we hit refresh, now we're down to the single record. So this could be combined. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let me go ahead and bring over a Teams version of this. This works also in Power Apps or Teams. And let me show you a little bit of the code, just a little more polished code here. What I'm looking at here on the left side are some students. On the right side is who is enrolled in this class. So when I pick Devin Knight, for example, you can see he's part of 3 classes. I can select leave to make him unrelate from that class and enroll him in English instead. And there we go. In a few seconds, those will both kick in, and then he'll be part of that student now, that record now as well. This was uncached, so it's starting to spin up the cache again now as well. So the code for this is very similar. If I look at the leave button here, you'll see I have an if-then statement here. So if this class, if the student has this class, so if this item.class, so this record is in the gallery.classes, then go ahead and unrelate it. If it's not, relate it. Okay. You'll also see the text for that button right here has, all right, same exact code. If it's in the class, then go ahead and mark the word as leave. Otherwise, mark the word as enroll. So again, this has been spun down, so I unfortunately have to kind of wake it up again here. But this is how you can kind of scale that code, and as I select a given student, I can see just what they're enrolled in and remove them at that point also. Okay, so what we showed you here are two ways of doing many-to-many relationships. Again, if you want to add extra metadata in for that relationship, like what role are you playing as part of this contracting firm, then you want to go and create your own joiner table. And as part of that, you're not going to use the relate and unrelate. You're going to use things like patch statements and those kind of things would be the best way to go. Your way you model it from the model-driven app will be very, very similar though. All right, hope you enjoyed this class. This is some very common questions you'll see on the certification test from Microsoft as well. This shows you the why of what we're doing here and some decision points you'll make. If this was useful to you, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And this is also part of our training we do at Pragmatic Works. We do things like hackathons, we do virtual mentoring to get you unstuck, and we have a number of classes that we do regularly, like boot camps and some on-demand classes. Have a great day though, and thanks for watching us today on this third video in our series on relationships in Dataverse.